Jay, it has been too long since we recorded. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good. Been a really busy couple of weeks, and I have a lot to talk about. And I have to say, I always want to come into these with a really upbeat attitude, right? Yeah, that's the whole point. It's supposed to be fun and blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure we'll get to that. There are good moments, but I will tell you that over the past 2 weeks, I have the title of this episode in mind. I already know what it's going to be called. It's going to be called Bad Disney. Bad Disney, because they are, I'm telling you, there's some shenanigans afoot in the parks and in the social sort of world that are, I would consider unforgivable. And I have backup on this from literally everybody that has done it. So you want to get started in this show?
Bring it on. Let's get it going.
All right, here we go. I'm Steve.
I'm Jay.
And here we go with an episode of Ink and Paint.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into this, Steve. So I know that you've been with Sarah. You guys went on a cruise?
We did, but it actually is interesting because it started the week before the cruise where we went to Disneyland. We went to California Adventure, and then the next weekend we were at Orlando where we went and did Universal Studios. Then we went on a Disney cruise, and then we ended our trip with a trip to Epcot and Disney World. So I've been to literally all of both coasts, all the different brands of parks, and I got to see sort of all of it. And it was an eye-opening experience, to say the least.
Ooh, okay. All right, so I guess we're starting with Disneyland?
Yeah, we can. And that one will kind of carry over to the other parks, because my main complaint, and we did talk about this before, I've used it in the park, but never on a level like this where we had to. And Jay, we did cover it, but I have to say, without hyperbole, the Disney Genie app is absolutely an unforgivable cash grab of a park experience ruining device. Does that make sense? Because
that's
it is
awful.
Oh my God, Jay, it's horrible. So just as a Cliff Notes version, the Disney Genie, if you go to the parks anymore, there's no more fast passes. You do not get a fast pass. So that's just what it is. There is no more fast passes. So when you buy your ticket, you see these outrageous prices today of like $190, $179 a day for a single park, not even a park hopper. And it is what it is. But then when you go buy your tickets, you realize that for $30 a person, you buy the Disney Genie, and the Disney Genie gives you the ability to get their pseudo fast passes, right? Now, in theory, you think, okay, that's just, it's an extra $30. That's a lot. But, for fast passes, that may be worth it. Here's where it gets nuts. So the tickets are now more expensive than I've ever seen. It doesn't even really make sense. They are pricing people out. But again, we've had this conversation before, Jay. They're pricing people out, but the parks are packed. So they sadly, I hate the reinforcement because they're still selling out every day. It's shoulder to shoulder in that park, and it's outrageous because they've made it for the ultra elite, and the ultra elite are still the ones that are going. So I find that so depressing. But anyway, so you buy the Disney Genie, right? So it's $30. So how it works is when you get into the park, you open up the app, and by the way, I'm going to get on this later. Disneyland is the most archaic, old school park in the world. I can't believe that they are the same or even consider themselves in the same world as Universal or Disney World, because when you get the Disney Genie or your tickets, they still have to take a picture of you on their little cast member iPhone every morning. The line still goes from, you remember this, Jay, from the front of DCA all the way to Disneyland or vice versa, because it takes you so long to get into the park because they have to physically take your photo to link up with your ticket so that you're not passing it off to other people, right? So the Disney Genie app doesn't help you get in any faster. It doesn't do anything. There's no magic band. It's just the app. And in Disneyland, both parks, they still require a photo. So it takes forever to get in still, right? So once you get in the park, you can then use the Disney Genie to use a fast pass, except here's the really fun kicker. First of all, in each park, there are like A-list ticket rides. And that would be Spider-Man. It would be Guardians of the Galaxy. No, not Guardians. It would be Spider-Man in DCA. And then it'd be Rise of the Resistance in Disneyland. And those rides, Disney Genie doesn't work. You cannot get a fast pass for these rides. You have to pay each person has to pay a $12 per ride fee. So you can do the math on that. If you want to sit in,
oh my gosh,
yeah, on top of the $30 that you paid to get Disney Genie, it's a cash grab. So in theory, it's $42 extra if you want to go on it one time, because once you do it, you cannot do it a second time. It's not like you can say, I'm going to pay $12 to go on it every single time. It's limit one per person per day. So at this point, you have to run in, and you don't even guaranteed get a spot because they fill up so fast. So again, I hate that it's a cash grab and people are really buying into it and doing it. So we went with my mom and Sarah, who had not done Spider-Man before. So I said, you know what? We're only here one day. We're going to do the $12 a person thing. And we ended up really realizing that we didn't need it, because if you get there when the park opens, you can pretty much just rush and get in line and wait. And if you're there right when it opens, you shouldn't wait more than 10 or 15 minutes tops. But we didn't really quite know that. So we paid for it anyway and wasted our money. So I was a little more upset with that in general. So that's how that thing goes. Are we all, does it make sense?
This just doesn't make any sense to me, because like for a family like mine, if all of us went together, we have 7. So,
oh my God, yeah.
Can you imagine? And we would waste it all on one ride. It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's outrageous, Jay. And for a family of 7, it makes it, you cannot do it. So it leaves you with the old school idea of just waiting in queues all day. Well, with this system, the queues are long as hell. So for example, the queue line for Guardians of the Galaxy was between 90 and 200 minutes all day. So if you do that math and you just go get in that line, 2 hours of your day has now been wasted standing in line for one ride. It's outrageous. Yeah. So let's go to the other part of Disney Genie. And that is where you use the pass, your fast pass, right? Which is similar to the old one, except it's reservation style on your phone. You don't go to a kiosk anymore. Here's the crazy thing. Once you get one, you have to wait, I think it's 3 or 4 hours before you can get another one. And the big problem with it is if you choose like Guardians of the Galaxy ride first, then you can get on it. But if you want to use it for something else later, a lot of those other people have already done the same thing. So your pass times will be 10 a.m. and like 8:30 p.m. as the next ride you can use the fast pass on. Meaning in the middle of the day, your pass is your Genie is totally useless. And at Epcot, it's even worse. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But it's really bad. The other thing that is cool, though, I will give them a positive thing about this whole world, is the Disney Genie app does allow you to do food ordering in advance. And the lines for food are so long these days, I don't even understand it. So we kept on using the app, and you would go over there and pick it up. It does shave off a lot of time. So that is a positive side, is ordering food in advance. I was a big fan of that. Another thing that they do is when you're shopping in the stores with the Disney Genie app. Now, by the way, this is not a Disney Genie feature. You could do this without Disney Genie. But on the Disneyland or Epcot app, when you go to the parks and you want to buy merch, you don't have to wait in line anymore. You can scan what you're buying, pay for it on your phone, and then there's a table by the entrance where they check your phone to make sure that you bought your stuff, and then there's a little bagging station. So that's a cool thing because it does save you time, so you don't have to wait in the really, really long checkout line. So there are some pros. This is not all negative, but the Disney Genie thing is an absolute disaster of a cash grab to me, and it ruins the experience of the park. The lines are just too long. And for a family like yours, Jay, where you guys have little kids and stuff with low attention spans, it's going to be absolutely horrible. I mean, it's going to suck so bad. I can't even believe it. It's just going to ruin the trip.
Yeah. And see, that was one of the things we were supposed to actually be going there. And if you guys listened to the last episode, we talked about Star Wars Celebration and how I'm not going this year. But part of the trip was actually going to be hitting Disneyland. And I'm actually now more glad that we're not doing this, because that's, what a nightmare.
It is a nightmare, and DCA is still a beautiful park, and it's still just a lot of fun to go. But I'm telling you, and we went during Food and Wine Festival, so the lines for food and wine were bigger than the rides for lines. It was the lines for rides. They were huge. So we didn't get to try one specialty thing because the lines were just outrageous. It was a really, really bad time to go to the park. The weather was great, so everybody was out. It was a capacity day. and it was just really tough to navigate. So we started our Disney sort of 3 weeks with a trip to DCA, and I will be honest, it will take a massive something for me to go back to Disneyland. I can't imagine going there again and spending money and coming out happy. Even my mom was like, this is a ripoff. Am I right? And she didn't want to be a Debbie Downer about it, but she was like, am I misunderstanding? Is this not a huge joke? And I was like, nope, it is. I wasn't trying to bitch about it, but yeah. So, I mean, even my mom was like, this is bad. So I have some issues with that. So anyway, Disneyland was out of control, and the rides are still the lines are just outrageous, and Disney Genie does nothing to help.
Do you think that's something that they're going to be working on, or you think it's?
Oh no, this is their new thing. People are obviously willing to pay for this feature, so there's no shot in hell I think that they're going to go back on it. This is going to be a new thing. The new guy, Bob Chapadick or whatever, Chapawiddick, that took over, I don't think he's going to be around forever. I don't think he's going to have the longevity to stay around. I mean, what he's doing is such a disaster compared to what Bob Iger was doing, and I'm just glad we got Bob on the show last time because it was good. It was good talking to him, but I just thought it was outrageous. So I don't think he'll be around forever, but I do think that this fee will be there because it's going to be impossible for them to take it back. Now, I will say they did pay salaries to their people while COVID was shut down for a really, really long time. And they did not have to do that, right? And they still made a lot of money off of their movies in Disney Plus, which we'll get to later. And I know they're trying to get their money back, but they're not going to need to. They also got a giant stimulus from the government to protect them while they were there and in insurance claims. So really, it's just greediness to the worst level, which I'm going to rope this into another story later. But that's Disneyland and DCA right now. It's kind of a joke.
All right. Please tell me your trip was getting better, though, as we were going on.
Yeah, this next part, the next two sections got really, really good. And the last one was really, really bad. So I'm going to end it on a sour note. But the next thing is we went to Orlando and we went to Universal Studios. And I want to tell you, Jay, so Sarah is a Universal Orlando master. She kind of grew up over there. She knows all the things, but they've changed it a lot since she was there with me last time when the new section of Harry Potter, Diagon Alley, when that opened up. So they had changed a lot. So we had some things that we really wanted to hit up. And we went over there. We stayed on site at one of their hotels. I can't remember the name, Surfside Inn. So we did get in, I think it's an hour earlier. Maybe it's a half an hour early. I can't remember. It's a half an hour in Epcot. I can't remember, but that's one of the perks about staying on site is you do get early access. So we did go over to the parks and we hit up some of the good rides right up front. And then we got stuck in a torrential Florida downpour that was just like flooding the streets. So that put everything on hold because the outdoor rides stopped during big storms. So we kind of had that. But I'll tell you in just a quick way, Universal Florida has changed so much that the things that Jay, you and I used to complain about back on the days of Mousecast are gone. Yeah. We used to always say Universal relies 100% on screens now, right? Everything is a projection and there's no real rides. Like Disney was more hands-on real rides, right? Yeah, right. That is gone. That is no longer the thing. They have embraced the roller coaster world in such a cool way that the two new giant rides, well, technically there's like three, but the two that I cannot say enough positive things about are the Velocicoaster in Islands of Adventure and the other one, which is Hagrid's motorcycle ride, which is also in Islands of Adventure. Jay, these are the two best roller coasters I've ever been on in my entire life. They're absolutely unbelievable. The Velocicoaster, both of these rides, by the way, you have to go through, not both of them. They have a policy at Universal, and I love it. It's kind of a nuisance, but they've done it in a really good way. Any ride that goes upside down, you have to go through a metal detector, and you can't even bring your wallet or phone on the ride. Nothing metallic, no change, no nothing. So when you go through the line, the queue, you go through a metal detector, and the metal detector, including people that wand you down, they go through and they give you free lockers. So you can lock up your stuff, or I think it says it's like a free hour-long rental or a half an hour, whatever, while you go and do the ride. Because with these new rides, Jay, like the Velocicoaster, you do 70 miles an hour upside down, about 10 feet over people's heads. And I understand why. It's because if someone's phone or GoPro or even a pocket of change falls out at 70 miles an hour upside down and hits someone, you're going to have some freaking damage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's weird to go through a metal detector on rides like the Hulk and Rip Ride Rocket and Velocicoaster, but I think it's a necessary evil. Now, Velocicoaster is a lot of fun. It's a really long ride, and it's got a really cool queue, and they push people through pretty fast. The longest we saw that ride was, I think, 75 minutes, and a lot of times it would go down to 30 and 25 minutes, and we just kept going and doing it. I got a little nauseous because it's a super high speed and it goes upside down a lot, but I had a lot of fun, and I think it might be one of the best high-speed themed roller coasters I've ever been on. With upside down factors. Hagrid's motorcycle ride is the ride to go to today. It's the ride. The lines for that are always 200 plus minutes. They have a fast pass system over there, very similar to Disney Genie that they have at Universal, where you do pay extra, but it's a way better system. It works better. It looks better on your phone. It's easier to get these reservations, and you just can't get reservations for the really, really big rides. Very similar to Disney Genie, but it's cheaper and significantly more efficient. So, again, I have nothing but positive things to say about Universal Studios. It's a freaking blast. Also, their Downtown Disney, or City Walk is what they call it, is so much better. I just love it. It's fantastic. So at this moment, I had a lot of fun on all of the rides, but that Hagrid ride, I don't know if you've ever seen a video of it. It would be hard because, actually, no, there's not a metal detector there, but it's really great. It really feels like you're on a high-speed motorcycle. I don't know how the hell they did it with the acceleration and stuff, but there's a moment in the ride that I didn't know was coming, and people say don't spoil it. And how I understand why is there's a moment that looks like you're going straight up, and you're going to go like over the top and down again. And your bike gets to the top and then goes, and Hagrid goes, uh-oh, we have a power outage. You then just drop in reverse and you go backwards for a bunch of the ride. And then you go into like a cave backwards and you're looking at the cool animatronics inside. And then the whole ride car drops 10 feet. And that's how you exit the ride. It's really cool. There's some amazing little. Yeah. And honestly, Jay, the first time I literally, like a little girl, I went, ah! Because I didn't expect any of those things. So it is a fantastic outdoor high-speed roller coaster, 2 of them at Universal now, which Disney does not have anything even remotely close. It's just fantastic. The one thing I would say, and this isn't even a negative, but it's kind of weird, at nighttime, Islands of Adventure, by the way, which is a seriously dated park. There are these sections over there that no one goes to. There's like a Dr. Seuss land and all of this crap that should easily be demolished and rethemed to like a Jurassic World or something like that. They're really, really old. But the weird thing is when you walk around, it is really dark at nighttime. That's one thing they need to figure out is lighting. There, you could trip, you could fall, you could not see curbs. It is shockingly dark. Even Sarah was like, holy hell, it's dark in here. They don't have a whole lot of lighting. So walking around at nighttime at Islands of Adventure is a little, I don't want to say scary, but it's dark as hell. Have you ever been to these parks, Jay, in Florida?
No. I can just picture it. I would think, but they keep it clean though, right?
Mm-hmm. They do. And that used to be the complaint with Universals. They didn't quite keep it clean. No, it's absolutely clean now. It's fantastic.
Huh.
Yeah, it's a great park, and the rides are absolutely fantastic. So again, it's hard for me to say anything bad about it. Now, there are some stupid rides over there that they built big giant queues for. For example, the King Kong experience. One of my good friends helped design it. He was an Imagineer over there. We used to be buddies. It's stupid because it's the same ride that we have at the tram ride in the Universal Hollywood, but because they don't have a tram ride, they built Kong Skull Island, and you ride in this big, it's like a big utility vehicle where it's the size of a tram, but just one car, and you kind of drive through the outside of Skull Island, then you go through, and it's the same thing that we have on the West Coast, and then that's it. So, and the same thing with Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious is the same sort of projection ride that we have on the West Coast, but they don't have a tram ride. So you have to go into the actual ride and queue, which I think is absolutely idiotic. But the amount of good things that they have way outnumbers it. From food to organization and flow, and the easy access to get from both parks is fantastic. At this point, Universal Florida is the best theme park I've been to. It's the best. Argue with me all day about Disney World or whatever. I will argue right back. It's not the same thing. It's easier to navigate. They have way more things going on. It's significantly better. It's the best one.
Huh.
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so I say it's not all bad. I had good things to say there, right?
Yeah. So where were you off to next?
Well, we went there because our next trip was we were taking a 4-night Disney cruise, one that I have taken 3 times before. Sarah had been with me once before, but this time we did it just the 2 adults. And the ride leaves from Port Canaveral, which is a 50-minute drive from downtown Orlando. And it was a day in the Bahamas, a day at Castaway Cay, which is their private island, and then 1 day at sea. The only thing that I have to say, so I love cruises. It's my favorite vacation. It's the only vacation that I've had where I come back feeling like I actually got rest, because you don't really do much. You sit around and you get sun and you can nap if you want, whatever. So it was just great. So I've done this cruise before. I've been on multiple cruises. I think they're the best. And Jay, I honestly think that they're so perfect for your family. I really think a cruise is the family vacation that you guys should look at booking, because the kids have pools and running around and stuff to do, and the adults can just go sit in the sun and hang out and go see shows. It was really great. So the couple of things, and I love this. If anyone out there has ever been on a cruise, there's 2 really inconvenient moments to going on a cruise. One is when you get on the ship, you unload your stuff, your bags come in a little bit later, and you just want to begin your vacation, right? You want to go drink and sit in the sun and just forget that there's a world out there. But you have to go to your emergency deck location to show where your lifeboat is, right? You have to go over there. You have to sit through the little speech. You have to sit there with your group, even though you'll never have to go there, blah, blah, blah. And that's the end of it, right? Well, It's a huge pain in the ass. Now, you don't have to do that anymore. On the Disney Cruise app, you take this app, you have to have it on the phone with you at all times when you're around the park. You don't have to. I left my phone in the room most of the time, but that's where you can see schedules and events. With this app, you walk at your convenience over to your deck location. You take a photo in the app of where you go in an emergency, and you're done. You are done. Sarah and I went and just started eating, and it was like, thank you. This is a good idea. The other annoying factor that people hate is customs. When you leave, you have to fill out a form that shows all the things that you bought, blah, 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 right? And it takes about an hour to 2 hours to get off the ship, because you have to go through customs and declare what you spent money on, what you bought, all this other crap, right? Now, there is none of that. You leave, you show them your passport, and that is it. That's it. So the only thing that sucks about the cruise is nothing in their control. When you get on, you do have to go through a longer check-in process where they give you a COVID swab, and then you have to wait for between 45 minutes and an hour to get your negative test results back. Once you're negative, you are free to go into the boarding procedure and board when your group is allowed to board. And once you're on, the only place where you had to wear a mask is in the theaters. And they have a theater that shows Broadway plays, and then they have a really giant movie theater that shows Disney movies. By the way, the ones that they showed on this trip were so horrible, I can't even explain it to you. So we didn't even go see a movie, but that's how it goes. So it was a really, really good trip. That private island they have is so nice, and it's just right there. There's no worries. You get off, you can go eat and drink and do your thing. I obviously spent more than I had planned to spend on booze, because it's just so easy to just go grab one. We did tequila tasting, bourbon tasting, beer tasting. The people are fantastic. And I have to always say, I've done cruises on a couple of different cruise lines, and the reason that people go on the higher paying ones, the higher priced ones like Disney, is the food and the staff are just so much better. They really are absolutely the best. They actually care about you guys, or at least they phone it in. But all the bartenders were really fun and chatty. So it was a really, really good 4 days on the ship. It was great.
Nice. I still can't get over that, the whole customs thing. You don't have to declare anything?
Nope, nothing. We left. Now, we didn't actually buy anything. We bought booze, but we didn't buy a shirt. All of the merchandise in all of the Disney parks today is the most god-awful, hideous, disgusting crap I've ever seen. There's literally, Jay, nothing Marvel or Star Wars that I wanted. Nothing. It was so bad. The one thing that I will say sucks is you have one night at sea, and on that night at sea, they have a themed night. And when we went before, it was, there's a Marvel night and a Star Wars night. We talked about it before, but the worst one is Pirate Night. And we sadly keep getting Pirate Night. And it's not even themed after Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just themed after pirates. Now, little kids love it because they dress like pirates. They bring their swords and whatever. But it's so dumb. It's so dumb and dated to me. I just think that little kids would have way more fun with no matter what, you get an either Marvel or a Star Wars night. That's what everyone wants to see, and that's where I think it should be. Marvel Pirate Night was really lame. So there's that. I had one other thing to say, but I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't that important. But yeah, so we had that night at sea, Pirate Night, which was kind of lame. But again, it's just a lot of fun and a lot of good relaxing sort of time. You just get to chill.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say because you had sent me a picture of you guys, and you also posted it. But you guys look like you guys were so relaxed and having fun. I was really jealous. So.
I know. I'm sorry. It's really cool though, because in the middle of the day, you're only a 3-minute walk to your room. So we'd go eat, and then we would go back downstairs and to our room and take like a nap. And then get up and go out again and do more sun drinking, blah, blah, blah. We saw plays and stuff. It's just such a cool experience. It's a lot of fun. Weird thing though, Jay, tell me if you think this is bizarre as hell. When you're on the Disney cruise line, you don't get signal and the TV channels are very limited. When you're in the Disney hotel, which we did next, the same thing. There's not a whole lot of channels, but there's a ton of Disney channels. I have a question for you. Why? In the name of everything that's valuable in this world, would Disney properties like a Disney cruise or a Disneyland or Disney World hotel not have Disney Plus for you to use while you're there? Why wouldn't they have that? Why wouldn't they have Disney Plus everywhere you go? If you're on property for that time period, you should get free Disney Plus and watch whatever you want, because the channels that they have were so limited and all the options to watch movies were so limited. I'm like, dude, I just want to watch WandaVision or something right now. And it's not on there. There's nothing to watch on there. It's just nonsense. Isn't that weird?
That's very weird. I almost feel like it's a missed opportunity because why not for those that do not have Disney Plus? If you get free Disney Plus when you're there and you see that and your kids are hooked on it, you're going to want to go ahead and spend that money, at least look at spending that money to get a subscription.
100%. That's verbatim why I brought that up. Is it's a built-in marketing tool, and to me it's just idiotic that they do not have it. We were stuck waiting for episodes of Bluey to come on because that was the only entertaining thing showing on TV. So I just think it's so dumb and such a huge missed opportunity. Why wouldn't you just have it in there? It's built-in free marketing. But anyway, it is what it is. I thought it was weird.
I think we need to ask Bob next time he's on the show. What's going on?
Absolutely. Yeah, Bob, Mr. Iger, Bob, he probably has good opinions on it because this is weird. So anyway, I'll start to wrap up this bit, and this ends again in a negative sort of tone. When the cruise was over, we went to Orlando and we stayed at a Disney hotel that I had stayed next door before, and that would be the Art of Animation. Now, the Art of Animation is a newer Disney hotel that was built right next to Pop Century. They're on their affordable hotels list. I like the Pop Century because it was cheaper. They have a 50-foot Roger Rabbit statue outside, and it's great. But we kind of went up one notch because I wanted to stay in this newer Art of Animation. And the hotel is built off of like different stuff. So there's like a Little Mermaid town, which is where we stayed. There's Cars, there's Lion King, there's Finding Nemo, and they're all themed after that sort of area. I will give them one positive thing is their pool is fantastic. They have underwater speakers. So when there's music playing on the outside, when you go underwater, it doesn't sound like this. It sounds like you have headphones in and you can hear the music and you can hear the movie that they're showing outside. It's absolutely, it's genius. But the hotel is garbage. It feels like something that was built in 1985. It just has an old vibe. The walls are drywall thin, so you can hear the baby next door crying. There is no shuttle service to when you stay at the really far hotel like we did. Our room was really far away. It was at least a 10-minute walk each way. And if you think about it, that doesn't seem like a lot, except when you're carrying luggage and you have kids, that hike sucks. It's a huge, huge walk. They don't have like a golf cart service or a shuttle to take you to your really far ones. You just have to hike it. So that aside, it is what it is, a very dated hotel for something that's so new. I think it's really a big misstep. Here's the weird thing. If you stay at a hotel, they have all of these shuttles, and the shuttles take you to Hollywood Studios. They take you to all the different resorts, and they take you to downtown Disney so that you can go, which is now called Disney Springs. I keep on calling it downtown Disney, but there's shuttle services, right?
Yeah.
Except if you want to go to Epcot or if you want to go to Hollywood Studios. If you want to go to those two, you have to take the new Sky Trail. Oh man, it's the little gondola thing. It's like a ski thing, that you sit in, and it takes you It's called a Sky something. I forget the name of it. But anyway, you get in this thing and there's a huge line in the morning, but it does move pretty fast. Although I will tell you, ours moved pretty fast. Sarah saw a video literally the next day at the park where the line was something like 600 people deep and people were losing their minds because it's too slow. They need to have either a tram, like a regular shuttle bus, and the Skylift if you want, or something else. Just getting from these hotels to studios or Epcot could be a potential nightmare. I mean, ours was okay, but I saw videos of 24 hours later and it was a shit show. It was so bad. It's kind of fun, but we were put in, they seat probably 10 people each and they go really fast. So it's pretty cool. But if you have to wait forever, you're going to miss your admittance to the park. And they only give you a 30-minute early entry in Disney World, unlike an hour like they used to. So if you're stuck in an extra 20 minutes, you just wasted your entire early admittance time getting to the physical park because there is no bus service. It's just this little rail system. It's like a ski lift. That's what it is. It's an indoor ski lift that takes you over there. It's really interesting. So it's cool to look at. It's cool once you're inside, but I was not a fan. I think that it's a big missed opportunity to have two ways of getting there. And this was just a really long way of getting there. So we did spend the day in Epcot Center, and I put a video on our Instagram. I don't know, many people didn't go and look at it, but the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which I've been so excited about, Jay, with you and me both, is coming close to being complete, and it is absolutely beautiful. Honestly, it's super cheesy, but I was very worked up over it. The Nova Corps ship is huge. It is huge. You can see it from all around. The building is massive. It looks really cool. Actually, you know what it looks like, Jay, from the outside? It kind of looks like Ant-Man's quantum machine in the back of the van. You know how it's like little layers, like dump, bump, bump, bump. You know how it like gets big, kind of like a horn, like a tunnel? It looks kind of like that. It is, once again, I'll say it, I've said it a million times. It is the world's largest indoor high-speed roller coaster when it opens up. It's blowing everybody's mind. So I have no doubt that it's going to be fantastic. It is by the entrance to Epcot, not the entrance for when you go from a hotel. When you take the SkyTram to get there, you get dropped off over by Ratatouille area, which is like France. So if you are going from the hotel, and believe me, Jay, I've been scouting this out for when we go this summer. If you take that Sky Rail to get there, you will be dropped off almost as far away from the Guardians ride as you possibly can. So if you want to get to the Guardians ride when it opens, I would highly recommend you either plan accordingly and you get there really early so you can actually get in and walk, or you find a way to get to the main entrance by the big, I forget what it's called, but the big golf ball thing, because that is the closest entrance. And if you're running to stand in a queue for that ride, you're going to get stuck. It's going to be a really long wait if you go from the hotels. It's just too far of a walk. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I'm glad you kind of scoped that out, though, because that makes it convenient for when we go down.
Yeah. All I've been doing was scoping out how we're going to make it work. That's all I was doing. So I'll keep the Epcot thing short so we can get on to other news. But again, you're over there with Disney Genie and you're using the same thing. And again, it's a bigger mess the busier the park is, because when you use your Disney Genie app to try to make a reservation for a ride. So like, for example, over there, you can use the Disney Genie app for ride Fast Pass, if you will, for anything other than Ratatouille. Ratatouille is the one that charges you an extra $12. That's the A-list ride over there. So when Guardians opens, I assume it'll be the same way. So when you go to the other rides, if we went in the morning and the line for Frozen was already really long, so I was like, just use our Fast Pass for it. Why the hell not? It was for like 4:30 p.m. So that means from 8 in the morning until like afternoon, we couldn't reserve one more Fast Pass because we had already used it, except we didn't even get to go on the ride. So by the time we had it open, ready to get a reservation, all of the rides were filled up, just done. So Disney Genie in Epcot got us one Fast Pass to Frozen. That is it. That's all it worked for. Everything else, it didn't work for. So it was, again, a huge cash grab, a big freaking mess. And I just thought it was a joke. Also, Epcot is really cool if you want to walk around and eat and drink, but it is straight up a half a day park. There's not that much to do. So Sarah and I really milked it. And we went to each little area and country. We had some amazing food. We ate at Canada where they got We got poutine, and I got a poutine that was themed after Turning Red, the Pixar movie, which was a poutine with fries, obviously, and gravy with a teriyaki beef. And I don't usually like beef, but it was freaking fantastic. So again, the food in Epcot is got to be better than most places. That's kind of what they do. But when the Guardians ride opens, it's going to change the vibe of that park because it's going to be a big, big deal for people to get to Epcot. But then I think people are going to do it once and then get the hell out of that park because there's not a lot to do. So I think it's going to be a really bizarre feel to be in that park. So again, it was just really, really lame. And I didn't like the hotel, but I had a lot of fun. It's just that same vibe. Now, I did talk with, on the phone, my friend Steve-O from Mousecast. He actually called me while I was there. And I was shocked. Wow. I was shocked to hear from him, but we chatted for a bit. He was just at Epcot 3 weeks before us, and he is a way bigger Disney apologist than I am. And even he said it is a absolute disaster. He also had complaints about some of the rides and, you know, what people can kind of ride them, and they're really strict standards. So, you know, it is what it is. It's a safety feature, but he was bummed out by that because they waited in these queues all day just to find out he couldn't ride the ride. So it was kind of a downer. But just to put it in perspective, I'm not a Disney hater by any means. But right now, I'm finding it hard to find a lot of really positive things to say about the parks. The only positive one I have to say was the Disney Cruise Line. There was not one problem. Everything there was great. So that kind of wraps up my whole world. I thought it was weird. It just really, really bizarre.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think they've lost a lot.
Huh. Dude, that's a crazy couple of weeks, though.
Yeah, now I'm home and I'm all done. Everything is good to go. So it is what it is. But, you know, that's how it goes. It is what it is. And I'm glad to be back.
Well, I'm glad that you are back because, dude, like I told you earlier, I miss talking to you.
Yeah, me too. We haven't done this or a crash and burn in a while. So, you know, there we go.
All right. Hey, real quick, do we have some time to go ahead and talk about this story that you had sent to me earlier today?
I do. We have plenty of time.
Okay. Because this is, I mean, go ahead, Steve. Tell me what you sent me because this is something else. Okay,
so now listen, this is going to come off to some people annoying, but I'm just going to, I'm not going to get into politics. Okay. Yeah. That's not how I do it. And that's not my vibe, but Disney, and we talked about it before, is becoming this monster of wokeness, right? Everything to them is super diverse. So if you go and follow any of the Disney pages on Instagram or Facebook, I follow them all on Facebook for news, when that includes Disneyland, Disney World, D23, Pixar, whatever. If you follow them, it becomes really hard to sort of swallow what they're selling us anymore. It's a lot, right? Because if you look at their marketing, they have not featured it's almost never that they feature anybody other than a minority group. And while I understand that that's fine and they're trying to reach out to that group, it is not equality of what they're doing anymore. It's straight up bias, which leads me to this story because I've been annoyed with this shift for quite some time. I'm a marketing major and I'm a marketing fan. I love marketing, and you can see that they are literally excluding, you know, the people that I associate with. I genuinely, they're excluding my group, my people that I identify as. I'm not that stuck up. I don't really care, but I have noticed this trend for literally years. Here's a good example. Pixar. Pixar does this thing when they recruit people to come and intern. I forget the name of the program, right? I forget the name of the program, but they do this big class photo every year. Out of 40 people this last year, I think it's 38 people or 42 people, there were 2 Caucasians in the group. Two. And I just think that that's unforgivable. It's not diverse anymore. It's now this seems weird. And this is leading up to this story. If you go look it up today, it's breaking news all over the place. They did a survey at the Walt Disney Company, and they got some internal opinions on people that are too afraid to speak out because they value their jobs and they don't want to get fired, right? And these quotes are crazy. This is what they're saying. Over the past few years, one group of cast members has become invisible in the company. The Walt Disney Company, this is a direct quote, the Walt Disney Company has come an increasingly uncomfortable place to work for those of us whose political and religious views are not explicitly progressive. We watch quietly as our beliefs come under attack from our own employer, and we frequently see those who share our opinions condemned as villains by our own leadership. They are underrepresented voices. They say no one wants to hear them. They don't get any acknowledgement. The tomorrow being reimagined doesn't seem to have much room for religious or political conservatives within the company. Left-leaning cast members are free to promote their agenda and to organize on company time using company resources. They call their fellow employees bigots, and the pressure that the Walt Disney company uses corporate influence to further their left-wing legislative goals. Now, listen, I hate the term right-wing and left-wing policies because I don't really care. But because I don't have one, I'm right in the dead center. But if you don't align with this group, then you don't have a voice and you're called a bigot. And I hate that because the term bigot is used so incorrectly by people on the left. Because I think if you look up the term bigot, go Google it, those people are the bigots. Bigotry is the inability to accept that another person has a different point of view than you do. That is like the Webster's dictionary term. So bigotry has been used all over the place as, oh, you don't like gay people, you're a bigot. You don't like this, you're a bigot, right? That's what people always say. That could not be further from the truth. People are allowed to have different opinions. You and I have different opinions on stuff, a lot of them. And it is what it is. That doesn't make everybody that doesn't agree with you a bigot. So the fact that the Walt Disney Company employees actually get to use company resources and time to organize outside events and stuff like that, while the other people that don't align with that thought process are literally called out and have no voice in the company and can't even speak up because they will get fired, is terrifying. This is terrifying. Like, why? This is what people said in the 50s and 60s. Black people had no ability to speak out because they were the bottom and they didn't have a voice. This has shifted so much in this company, and it's reflected in their marketing. It's reflected in their hiring policies, which, by the way, is also in the article because they do not hire anybody anymore that doesn't fit in this group. It's just a dark, dark truth. And on top of that, the wokest company in the world, I think, is Disney. Just this Tuesday had a staged walkout by the people that work there because they weren't doing enough in Florida to stand up to a legislative bill. Listen to me. I don't care. If you want to walk out of your job for a cause, go for it. I don't care. But I would hope that you would do it if your company truly wasn't representing your viewpoints. This article and everything that I've seen Disney do in the past 5 years is so absolutely ridiculously left-wing. And again, I don't really care. Do your thing. But if you start treating other people in your business poorly, you are now the bigot. You are now the one that should come under fire for treating and having discriminatory policy towards these people. That is absolutely what it is. And it's dark and scary gross to me.
Yep. 100% agree with you, Steve. Dude, man, you're on a roll.
I'm not trying to be like you said I was worked up and shot out of a cannon. I'm only shot out of a cannon because I genuinely can't believe that the company that I love and have spent more freaking money on than I could ever explain is doing this. It's really dark.
No, totally agree with you. See, this is, I mean, we could go ahead and, I don't know if this is the right platform for this or not, but we can go ahead and, easily, and I'm not a politics guy. I don't want to get involved in it. When I hear a conversation, I kind of avoid it. But kind of where I am with this whole thing is, you know what? If you're going to go one way, you got to go the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% as far as I'm right down the middle. If you open up a door for somebody that may or may not should be open, and you open it for them, now you're opening yourself to other things. You need to go ahead and figure out what you're doing there and not, basically paint, the people that don't agree with you in the corner. And, I don't know. I think this is kind of a joke.
It is. It's a joke, and it's a hurtful joke to people that don't align. And honestly, I don't. I don't care if a company, I don't want to say that right. I hate that a company even has a political opinion. A company should just be an employer. But I do know that today that people demand more from their employers. And I think that's just where we're at today. And, I guess we have to just adapt and move. But if you are so far to one side, you exclude another entire side or a thought process or a group of people, and you are now the bad guy. I mean, honestly, you are now the bad guy. So I don't know what else to say about it, but I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted that in this world, a company runs itself in this manner. And apparently it's not far enough because they had a walkout for gay rights the other day, which Disney has embraced forever. All of the merchandise over there is rainbows and all that stuff, which is fantastic. I love the idea that these companies are embracing everybody. Literally, that's the definition of equality, is embracing every single person so that everyone comes to work and feels accepted and that they can speak and that they shouldn't be afraid of anything except they shouldn't feel afraid. You shouldn't go to work and feel scared of having an opinion. I hate the idea that these people are saying, and it's a large group of people, that they can't speak up. They're silenced and they're called bigots if they don't go to these events or agree. And literally none of that has to do with anything in those parks. Nothing. You can do your job without just expressing your political points of view. And the fact that, Jay, the one that really bugs me is the fact that the company allows people to organize and use company resources to make these events. That is nuts, because if you use company resources at any other company in the world, you get fired. Right? I could not have used my old work computer to fill out resumes for other companies. I couldn't use it to do personal stuff at home because it's all company policy and company time. I just think it's nuts that they allow that, because it should just be a place of employment. They don't have to be your best friends. It's just be a group, run your thing with equality and love and passion for everybody, and stop singling out groups that aren't necessarily in line with the new woke policies. That's the thing that I just find. I don't want to say riveting, because that makes it sound like I'm interested, because I'm not interested. I'm really turned off. And it's becoming harder and harder for me to support this company and spend money there, even though I want to so badly. I love the product that they put on the table. I will watch anything Marvel. I will watch anything that they do Star Wars. I cannot wait for Moon Knight to come out. But damn, they are making it really tough to do. It's rough, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really? Huh. Jeez. Yeah, so I don't know where this story is going to be going to. I'm actually, as more unfolds, and I know more is going to unfold, it's probably going to kind of gross me out even more that this is even taking place. But man, what a mess! And this is not under new management. This was taking place, it sounds like, for a long time.
Absolutely.
So, oh my gosh, what a mess.
It really, really is. And again, it deeply bums me out, because the company that built, honestly, what my kid, I hate saying my child, like that was something that, like, my kid was brought up on, one that I was brought up on, is so exclusionary now that you can't have alternative points of view. How are you ever going to have a discussion? I love diversity. And I'll tell you why that sounds like I'm some sort of a hack. But I'll tell you why it's good for business, because you get lots of different points of view. I learned very early on when I was in the military how important diversity was, because everyone comes from a different background and they see things differently. Diversity in marketing is huge. They have shut off actual diversity. They do not look at the people anymore that look like me. They don't care at all about that group of people, because they're just trying to appease this other giant group of people. And that right there is exclusionary, biased, and it's by definition, it's bigotry on their side, and I hate it. So it just bothers me a lot, and it's becoming harder and harder to apologize for this company. From how bad the parks are run, how expensive it is to be there, and all of that stuff, it's just not fun anymore, man, and it's not fun to be a part of.
Yeah. Oh.
So there we go. It's not that was not it didn't end on a high note, but it's an interesting thing. So I think we do have some positive news to talk about, though. Correct?
I believe so. Let me see here. I don't even know where we're going on this.
Okay, so I do have some other stuff. So Disney Plus is going to have a price change coming soon, and it's going to be this spring. And I obviously hate that because now I spend more money on all of my different streaming services than I ever did on cable. It's true. So here's the thing that sucks is they're raising the prices on Disney Plus, but also they're adding an ad-free option, which means just like Hulu, if you want to spend $19 a month on Disney Plus, but you hate the ads, you're going to be spending $29 a month for Disney Plus so that you can look at it the same way as you have. That means that if you don't want the extra to pay the extra, you're now going to have to watch commercials. And I don't even know what commercials, probably from the crap that they endorse, but in the middle of episodes of Mandalorian and WandaVision and before and after. And it's going to take a 30-minute episode to turn it into 45. So if you want to keep watching Disney Plus the way that you are right now, you're going to have to pay significantly more. So, I mean, I understand a price increase. They're putting out very expensive shows, right? Everything Marvel and Star Wars they do is almost as much as a movie.
Right.
But I just hate it.
Now, are they, so if with the price increase, it's not going to affect people that are already in a contract. It's just once you're starting up it's when you start up a new contract, right?
Yeah. Well, if you paid for a year in advance, then you continue out your year. If you pay month to month, like I do, then my price shifts from, I think it's $14 a month right now or something like that. $14 a month. It'll go up $5 for the same thing. And then I think it goes up $15 or $10 if you want the ad-free version.
So is there any way you could just jump on? Do you have time to just jump on in
and pay for a year right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't actually know. It's odd to me, but that's what's happening. So they are changing it. So eventually, no matter what, you will be paying more. That's the long and short of it is. So there's that. Let's see here. I read along with you. What did I say? Disney Plus price change. Okay, so they also announced that Nova is joining the MCU probably sooner than we thought. So we know that they cast what's his name from We're the Millers to play Nova. And I forget his name, but I know that the guys hated the guys on Nightcap Chat. They hated the casting. The kid that they have is, what's his name? Hold on a second. His name is Will Poulter. Will Poulter he's in lots of stuff from We're the Millers, The Maze Runner, Detroit, The Chronicles of Narnia. But anyway, I think he's a really good casting. I think he's great. But anyway, we thought we were going to see him in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Turns out he's getting his own show by the people that put together and made Moon Knight. Which means what, Jay? If they're announcing that right now, 5 days or 7 days before Moon Knight comes out, I think you're going to see Nova.
You're going to see him. You're going to see him in
Moon Knight. Yep. So get ready for that. If you care, Will Poulter's playing Nova, and not only is he going to be getting his own series apparently in the MCU on Disney Plus, I almost imagine for sure that you're going to see him in Moon Knight. So there's that one. Let's see here. On the other side, Nintendo World officially announced their opening in 2023. Officially announced it. So 2023 Nintendo World in Hollywood opens up. We've talked about that before, Jay. I think it's going to absolutely crush. People are going to come from all over to go to this place, especially the people in California that love that sort of world. I mean, they have a store there, Jay, is Hello Kitty Japanese. I think it's Japanese, right? And it's just Hello Kitty stuff. And there's always massive amounts of people in there. So this is just going to, I mean, people love Nintendo either way, but man, this is going to just crush. This whole world over there is just going to be massive. And I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Now, you were talking about, I think it was on the last show, you were talking about how you can't see this place even being done anytime soon.
Yeah.
So now we have a date. Do you think that where they are right now, that's going to coincide with that opening target?
I think, yep. I mean, you're literally right now, it's March. So by saying 2023, that right there is, what is that? 9 months away just to get to January 1st. That's almost a year. I don't think it's going to open until Memorial Day of next year, like a summer thing, like when they opened up most rides and attractions. That gives them 1 year and 3 months. a year and 3 months, they should be able to wrap it up in that amount of time. I mean, I can't imagine that it's not going to open in fall of 2022. Like, I don't understand. But like I said, you're right. I was just there, and it does not look like it's even close to being ready. But 2023, officially, I know for a fact it will open then. There's no way. Now, the only thing is we don't know when. If they said it was going to open in spring break, so like in one calendar year from today, that would make more sense to me. Anything other than that is just, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to go through. So either way, they did officially announce that it's coming in 2023. Disney Cruise Lines. Jay, not only do they have a new ship, they literally just bought another Bahamian island. So they will have 2 private islands in the Bahamas. And now I don't remember the name of this one, and it's not in the same general area as Castaway Cay, which is the cruise line thing. But Jay, what company just buys an island? Isn't that insane? They just bought another island.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Who does that?
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know. So it's just crazy.
Can you imagine like the NFL saying, you know what, we're going to go ahead and buy an island?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to put a new team on an island that we just bought. You know, it's outrageous, but you got to love it. This company's crazy and they just make a ton of money. That cruise line just makes a ton of money. And I guess enough to just keep on dipping into that savings account because holy crap, another island. It's just nuts. So when
did their pockets go dry?
I don't think they're. Oh, that is such a good question. I remember in the late 80s, it was going dry. And that's why they hated the other CEO that was before Bob Iger. And they say that he ran the company into the ground. But I don't think that it does. I mean, Jay, go back just 10 years before they bought Marvel and Star Wars. The things that they've done in the parks are outrageous. The new Disney Cruise Line ships are some of the most expensive investments in the history of entertainment. And then they just bought an island. I don't know, but to put it back into perspective, that's why we pay so much for Disney Plus soon. And that's why we pay so much in the parks with Disney Genie is they keep on spending to keep up with the competition. But damn, that's a lot of money that they're spending. It's a lot. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if their pockets are ever going to go dry, but that's it. Last thing is, have you read, Jay, about the Star Wars hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser in Florida? Have you read and seen videos from people going there? Because it has been open for 1 month now.
I have. And there's something about it. People are not impressed. Did I read that correctly?
Yes. There's two thought processes on it. And I thought about you. I thought about you and your family. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is possibly the worst place for your family to go. And here's why. When you check into this 2-night stay, which is priced more than a cruise, by the way, it's incredibly expensive. I think it starts at 2 people at $2,300. You get amazing perks. It's amazing. Once you're in the hotel, you are no longer, everything is themed, which I think is cool. It's a totally immersive experience, right? So there's a lot of activities and everything to do. Here's the article that I read, and I watched videos on it. If you are any kind of introvert, this is not for you because you get put in a group of teams with other residents at the hotel and you work together the entire time you're there with different events and games and challenges. And you have to be super bubbly and outgoing. So like, for example, I think of Sky. I think of your, one of your kids will be fine running around like a crazy person. I think of Dana and I think of Kenzie and I think of all your kids who I all consider to be sort of introverts in general. I don't think that they would have any fun here at all because you have to be like, all right, gang, let's get everybody together and go stop the resistance, blah, 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 blah. Let's plan and do this. You have to be seriously outgoing. So the one complaint I'm hearing is besides how expensive it is that it's nonstop. There is no relaxing at all. You are in and you are doing stuff from breakfast until bed. It's nonstop. Now, I kind of like that because when you pay that much, I better get some freaking content, right? But if it's that much nonsense going on, I don't know how to fix that. I just think that it's like there is no pool, and they very clearly tell you that there's no pool because there are no pools in space. I thought that was kind of cute. So there is no R&R time. You are there for 2 days to do 2 days of being in the Galactic Star Cruiser. I think it's kind of cool, but also the stuff that you do looks, and I'll be honest, a little cheesy. They have big screens and you press buttons and it's like, press this button. Oh, great. You launched a missile and that stopped the ship from coming in. Well done, team. It's kind of that kind of stuff. What I would be more interested in is the characters, because they're constantly walking around in character. Rey sometimes sneaks around and she will help you in whatever. Chewbacca is one of the main characters who's always there helping you out. Wherever you go, if you leave your room and you go to the bathroom down in the lobby or whatever you're going to do, there's going to be someone that you run into that's either a stormtrooper or an Imperial somebody or other, but also characters that we know and love. Droids are kind of walking around sometimes. I think that they're more heavily supervised in the lobby, but I like the idea of running into Chewbacca at the urinals. Like if we go to the bathrooms and Chewbacca is there, I think that is fantastic. But I just think of being an extrovert. You and I could do it and have fun. Sarah could do it. Lila would not have as much fun. I personally guarantee you Sky would want to leave early, right? There's no way that she would have that much fun being a leader of a goofy group and, all this other crap. I just don't see it. It's not for everybody is what I'm saying.
Right.
Does this change your opinion? Were you ever interested in going here in the first place or not? Really?
I was actually very interested in going. And the more that I'm hearing about it, it's just kind of turned me away. So actually I had higher hopes for it than what people are saying. So I'm kind of disappointed. And another missed opportunity. Yep.
Well, I don't know, man. It's weird. It may not be a missed opportunity, Jay, to be honest. It could be perfect for people that want to do that exact thing. But for people that are in the middle that may just want the cool experience and see what it's like to stay in a starship and see the characters walking around, I think that those people are going to be the ones that are like, man, we just wasted $4,000 on 2 nights. They do give you exclusives to, like, they shuttle you right to the entrance of Rise of the Resistance. There is no queue. There's no fast pass. There's none of that. They drop you off right in the line and you go right on there with a special greeting and stuff. So that I find to be really fun. Again, Jay, I am positive that you and I would have the time of our lives there because we're both outgoing goofballs and, we're not afraid of being embarrassed or whatever, right? But I think that people that are, that's what they're saying. So again, it's something else I don't necessarily think is for me.
I agree.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's all I got. I mean, we have some stuff coming up, but it's all movie related stuff. By the time we do the next episode, we will have seen Moon Knight or at least chunks of it. Yes. In the next month, we have Doctor Strange opening up in theaters. And so we'll have that coming up soon. And then we always have news. We wanted to do a topic, Jay, about if we had, and let's see if we can get some interaction from the group. Maybe the guys would want to come up and maybe help us out on this one. With the opening of the Galactic Cruise Liner Hotel, and you brought this up before, what would if it's not Star Wars, your dream themed hotel? Not a land like Star Wars Land or, Pixar Land or Marvel Land, a hotel. If it was just themed after something in the Disney world, what would it be? So think about that, because I think we're going to tackle that the next show, and we will get Bob on the next episode, right?
Yes. Yeah, we got confirmation. Bob will be here. I guess he's going to fit us in between. I don't even know. He's a busy guy.
Well, anyway, Jay, sorry if I came out just super negative, but it's just so many bad things have happened in the world of Disney in the past couple of weeks. It's tough to grapple with it, honestly.
No, I understand. And I agree with you. So, hopefully, again, they can get things kind of straightened out and we can get back to, enjoying what we, love about Disney.
Yep, absolutely. So Disney is great. Their entertainment is fantastic. I will say one really quick thing. Did you watch Turning Red yet?
I have not, and you kind of turned me away from it. So
yeah, there you go. Yep, you're good. Don't go. You did the right thing. It is by a landslide the worst Pixar movie I've seen. Not one likable character. I don't understand their animation style. The story was, I would say, idiotic and unlaughable. It's not cute. There's no one's likable. There's not one likable character in the freaking movie. It's so bad. I can't even tell you. Like, my other least favorite is Cars 2. I really, really hate Cars 2. But at least in Cars 2, you like some of the characters. You like Lightning and you like Mater. That's their point. And this one, I know what they're doing. They're trying to make it all about being a rebellious teenage girl. But I have a rebellious teenage girl, and they're not all unlikable like this. They don't always just need to buck the system and fight your mom. It's a hyperbole excuse. And if that group does see it like that, then it's one that I don't I don't associate with. I don't know, but I thought that the movie was absolutely horrible. Horrible. I would never in a million years recommend it or watch a second of it again. I hated every second of it.
Jeez.
Yeah, really bad.
I did not want to see it. I didn't want to see it actually when the trailer came out. Nothing about it. Like, oh my gosh, I need to see this. Yeah,
nope. It doesn't look like a Pixar movie, by the way.
No.
It doesn't look like one. The detail that you typically see in backgrounds and stuff is cutie in this, but kind of it reminds me of like a Minions movie. The colors are sort of a blander palette. The sky's typically blue or purple at sunset or nighttime, and that's about it. The details are all gone. So anyway, that's about it for me. But I Jay, we just pretty much ended the show, and I ended up again with something negative. I don't know what to do.
Well, until next time.
All right. Well, we'll keep on tuning in. Follow us on Instagram. That's where we try to keep up and post stories. But so far, we're not getting a whole lot of traction over there. So make sure you look us up. Follow the main group, which is Nightcap Chat, on all of their atmospheres, their outlooks, and however they do stuff. But that's all I got. We'll stay tuned. And next time, I guarantee you there'll be more uplifting things to talk about. I would hope so. I mean, I hope that there's more things to talk about that aren't crappy, because this was kind of a downer of a show. Bad Disney.
Yeah. Bad Disney. Just like you said.
All right. Well, I've been Steve.
And I'm Jay. Until next time.
Be greater. Be yourself.